All right, let's get right into it. We are going deep, and I mean deep, beneath the Pacific Ocean to investigate one of the world's greatest underwater mysteries. This is a structure that, and I'm not exaggerating here, could completely rewrite human history as we know it. And right off the bat, you've got two completely opposite stories. On one side, you have mainstream geologists who say the Yonaguni Monument is just a really weird natural rock formation. A total fluke of sandstone and erosion. But on the other side, a growing number of researchers are pointing to it as a smoking gun, the last remnant of a lost, prehistoric ghost civilization. So what are we looking at here? A trick of nature or a forgotten piece of architecture? So picture this. It's 1986. A diver is out looking for hammerhead sharks off the coast of Japan's most remote island, Yonaguni. And then he stumbles upon something that's just not supposed to be there. What he found was this absolutely colossal structure. We're talking about a series of perfectly terraced platforms, impossibly sharp right angles, and what looks for all the world like a massive pyramid, all sitting 80 feet below the surface. So you have to ask yourself, does that really look like something carved by random ocean currents? Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This incredible structure, Yonaguni, it doesn't just exist in a vacuum. To really get what's going on, you've got to connect it to this whole web of ancient legends that you find all over the world. See, for centuries, ancient texts and what some people call forbidden truths have told stories of these vast, highly advanced empires that once spanned the entire Pacific. They talk about a great motherland called Mu and the lost continent of Lemuria. And of course, these legends from the Pacific sound eerily similar to the most famous lost civilization of all time, right? Atlantis. I mean, when you see the same story popping up independently all over the planet, you gotta start to wonder. Are these just a bunch of disconnected fairy tales that people pass down? Or could they be something more? Could they be the fragmented, garbled memories of a real global civilization that was wiped out in some great cataclysm? A world that existed before our own. And the connections aren't just in the stories, they're literally carved in stone. Researchers have pointed out things on Yonaguni that just scream man-made, like what look like staircases, a basin that seems designed for rituals, and even a carving that people call the giant's head. But get this. Proponents of this theory say these designs don't just look ancient, they mirror other unexplained structures all over the world. And some even draw a line to weird formations that have been photographed on Mars. It's like they're all following some shared, maybe even interplanetary, architectural blueprint. So, okay, let's say this was a city. How in the world did it end up at the bottom of the ocean? Well, the answer isn't that they built it underwater. The answer is the water came to it. If we look back around 10 to 12,000 years ago, something crazy happened. The last ice age came to a really violent end. The ice caps melted so fast, sea levels rose by hundreds of feet in what was basically the blink of an eye, geologically speaking. This was the real Great Flood that you read about in myths all over the world. And it was the event that swallowed Yonaguni whole. But here's the kicker. According to this theory, that massive flood wasn't some random one-off disaster. No, it's part of a predictable, recurring cycle. And the key to understanding that cycle is a very specific number, 26,000. They call it the 26,000-year reset. It's a theory tied to a real astronomical cycle called the precession of the equinoxes. The basic idea is that our planet goes through this incredibly violent shift on that timescale, like a cosmic cycle that causes these catastrophic geological changes, literally wiping the slate clean for civilization. In that sense, Yonaguni isn't just a ruin. It's a monument to the last reset. Okay, so this brings us to the biggest questions of all. If this advanced civilization was real, who were these people? And why is their incredible story being kept a secret? Well, the evidence for how advanced they were is right there in the stone. The precision of the cuts, what looks like clear tool marks on some of the surfaces, the sheer scale of the thing. This is the kind of stuff that just flies in the face of the natural erosion theory. It suggests a society with technology way beyond the primitive hunter-gatherers we're told were the only humans around back then. So where did they get this tech? This is where the whole theory takes a really fascinating turn. The old texts suggest this knowledge wasn't exactly homegrown. One source puts it like this: the builders possessed knowledge gifted by sky beings. It sounds a lot like those old stories of the Watchers or the Anunnaki, right? beings who supposedly came down and gave the gift of civilization to early humanity. And that right there gives you the motive for a cover-up. Think about it. If mainstream science were to just come out and say, yep, Yonaguni is man-made, their entire official timeline of human history would just crumble. It would force them to admit that our origins are way more complicated and maybe not entirely our own. It's a truth that's been suppressed, maybe, to keep all of us in the dark. So let's just pull all these threads together for a second. This is not just a cool story about some old rocks under the sea. This is about who we are. It's about our identity and our real place in the cosmos. A discovery like Yonaguni basically forces every single one of us to step back and question what we've been taught. Is the official history the one you read in textbooks? Is it just wrong? Was there a highly advanced global civilization that was almost completely wiped from the history books and from our memory? The Yonaguni Monument just sits there, this silent sentinel, a haunting piece of a lost chapter in the human story. It's a physical piece of a puzzle that connects Atlantis, Lemuria, and legends from every corner of this planet. Whether it's just a trick of nature or the tombstone of a lost world, it really feels like the sea is finally starting to give up its secrets, reminding us that the truth is waiting right there, just beneath the waves.